We put out a song 2 weeks ago now. The charts dropped Wednesday. Only Ever Wanted by Timcast is charting. Number 2 in sales, number 16 for alternative music. Number 16. There are many bands that are platinum, that are massive, that release singles and songs and don't chart. And they get big play and airtime and mainstream media support. We put out one song, we hit the charts with your support. So I'm eternally grateful. We also got big news. Tom MacDonald has just dropped his new single, Riot. If you have not listened to Tom MacDonald's music, you are missing out. And I'm assuming most of you know about it. The dude, Tom, lyrical genius. He's able to, in music, with these songs like System, Names, Fake Woke, I'm listening to all these things. He's able to just nail these concepts, these cultural, political talking points better than I could. And it's just good music. He's got a new single out, Riot. Y'all should buy it. You should buy it for $1. And I'll explain why. And I love that in the song, he rags on the establishment media, pop music, and he's not going to play those games. And I dig it, man. Not only is it good music that you can play, but it hits that message as well, and I'm all for it. I loved it when hip-hop in the past used to make points, used to talk about culture and issues. A lot of it just became, guns, whatever, drugs, money, bling. But let's talk about what's going on. And I want to talk to, right now, I want to say this before we even get started. Click the link in the description below to buy Tom MacDonald's song Riot. And I'll tell you why. They block him from charting. Let me show you this. PR Newswire. And we'll read it. I'll get into more of this in a second. Tom MacDonald moves enough albums to top Billboard at number 1, but data collection agency won't respond. This is from PR Newswire. So this is Tom MacDonald putting out a press release explaining what happened. They sold enough to hit number 1, and they don't get it. They don't chart. You got to understand what's happening right now and why it's time we storm the gates of the cultural establishment. We put out a song, Timcast, Only Ever Wanted, charting at number 2. They are refusing to write about it. We knew this was going to happen. They won't even criticize it. They won't review it, and I'll tell you why. Because the song is good and they like it. That's it. We made an apolitical song and we know they like it. So what are they going to do? Make a story about how they hate it? It's just a kind of it's alternative rock, I guess. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best song in the world. But I want to share with you quotes about what they said, and I want to tell you why they're doing it. They're refusing to write about it because it's political. So here's what I want to say before I show you the charts and get through this. Here's why you got to buy Tom MacDonald's song. For one, it's really good. I mean, that's just it. That should be the main reason anybody is going to his page, subscribing to his music, and buying his music. But Tom, he calls out the system. He calls out the establishment. It's not left or right. It's like anti-establishment, but it's logical, making points about what they do. Here's what I would love to see. I'm a big fan of Tom's work. I've been listening to his music for now. It's going on, a couple of years he's been putting this stuff out. We've been seeing this amazing stuff. I'm a big fan. I want to see him number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. I want to see his albums number 1 because they're good. That's what I want to see. I want to see independent artists who sell their own music not have to bend their knee to an establishment elitist machine and beg for media coverage. And we can do it. So I told everybody to buy my music last week. And some people said, you're grifting, Tim. You just want people to buy your music. You wish you were a rock star. And I'm like, I don't care, dude. Buy Tom MacDonald's music instead. I want to see the machine. I want to see the cracks in the facade. I want to see these people who think they're the gatekeepers to arts and to cultural, to our culture. I want to see them knocked off their high horse. So here's what I'd love to see. Tom MacDonald should have more music on the Hot 100 based on the amount of hits and sales he gets. But for some reason, I'm like, how is this? I try and look up his stuff. He's got a couple that are charting. How is this dude not number 1 right now when he's getting millions of hits on his songs when they drop, when he's number 1 in sales? And it's because they play dirty games. So do this. If every single person who listened to this song bought Tom MacDonald's new single, Riot, he would be number 1. Force these people to write about it. Let me tell you why I'm pissed off. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with your support. Proud to say, Only Ever Wanted, the song that we released here at Timcast under the band name Timcast because we're so original. It's the first song we're putting out. We're doing it a lot for just, we want to make a point. For one, I write music. I've always written music. I've published music more than I've actually done politics, but politics was just more successful. It's funny. You don't hear people coming out being like, Tim Pool is a failed musician who got into politics. You don't hear them saying Tim Pool is a failed skateboarder who got into politics. No, I do political commentary because I've also done that my whole life. I was doing nonprofit fundraising activism, very much involved in cultural issues and making music. Hey, I grew up listening to punk rock music and things like that. We hit number 2, digital song sales. There's more. In alternative, we hit number 16. There's 25 positions on the alternative chart. We're number 16. What do we got? A lot of this stuff is kind of old. I don't know. We're above Billie Eilish, Panic at the Disco. I don't know who some of these other people are. You know, we didn't beat Kate Bush or Nikki Ure and Daisy for Sunroof or Imagine Dragons. It's fine. Number 16. A bunch of my favorite bands that are big, that have millions of followers, don't chart with their singles. With your support, we did. And I knew we were going to make a point. I got more, though. This is what is this? Hot alternative. For alternative sales, number 1. For rock sales, number 1. Emerging artists, number 5. Will of the People charted at number 17 in sales. And that song came out 2 years ago. Now, I'm not saying these things because I'm here to tell you that we're like the best band ever or anything like that. I'm here to tell you about winning and the importance of winning the culture war. Jennifer Lawrence gave an interview because she's doing movies, and she said overturning Roe v. Wade was bad. And she said Tucker Carlson gives her nightmares, or he's in her nightmares. All of this crazy stuff. She said the only reason they didn't vote for Hillary Clinton was because they hate women. AOC is doing the same thing. AOC is an influencer. This is cultural dominance. They use this. They use the arts to capture people, to try and come for your kids, and we're going to push back. And you know what? They're losing their minds. Good. Because I'm gonna revel in it. Number 2, digital sales. Let me tell you something. On Friday, the 26th, when we published this song, within 12 hours, or maybe it was a little bit more, we hit number. Okay, so I think on the first day we hit number 5. We hit number 5, I think, by like 10 p.m. on iTunes. Number 5. And I was shocked. I was like, whoa. We're the number 5th highest charting song on iTunes. What did we hear? All these lefties. They were losing their minds, smack talking us, saying the song was bad. It sounds like Nickelback. And here we were, 5 days after the release of the promo. They ragged on number 5 on iTunes. Guess what? We hit number 2 that night. We couldn't beat Elton John and Britney Spears. Hey, I'll take it. Elton John and Britney Spears, they're like some of the goats, you know what I mean? I mean, especially Elton John. I'm a huge fan of Elton John stuff. We couldn't do it, but we hit number 2. We hit number 1 in alternative, and there we were with all of the hate from the left. But here was the best part. The number 1 song, Hold Me Closer, article after article after article. The number 3 song, I think, was DJ Khaled, article after article after article. The number 2 charting song, Tain't Nothing. Nobody wrote about it. We weren't being featured in any editorials. They just didn't write about it. We got one article from the Daily Beast, I think it was a few days later, and they said how Tim Pool uses butt rock to lure people into his right-wing world. It's fascinating. We have communications people here. And so we sent out our release. We sent it out to them. And I hope you can revel in the anger they have over what's happening. Before we charted. I'm going to read for you some of the responses. And I want to say this. I'm not going to show the emails, the names of the people or the organizations they work for, because we go through a third party. We do third party, like we contract for communication stuff. And I would have to drag a third party's career if I were to expose the email. So I'm not going to do that. And I know a lot of people would prefer it, but I can read you some of the things they said. How about this? Quote, I am one of the establishment institutions that hates this dude and everything he represents. Okay. They say they're not going to write about it. Sorry, not interested. I don't like Tim Pool. Vaccines are highly effective at preventing COVID-19, which can be fatal to vulnerable individuals. That was a response we got to a press release like new song drops. That's how they responded. It's weird. I've never been opposed to the vaccine. I've always said, go talk to your doctor. But Pete Parada, that's right, formerly of The Offspring, his doctor told him that he couldn't get the vaccine. Not his fault. He got fired for it. And now they're lying about him, trying to smear him. And this is the game they play because it's a cult. Thanks for sending through. Not for us, though. I've got no desire to give anti-vaxxer proponents any airtime on our station. Ooh, I love that one. Let me explain to you what's happening and why this is exactly what I was hoping for. We knew they would never write about us because I know they already don't. The only thing we get periodically is weird leftist smear pieces. But when we have powerful conversations with prominent individuals, they ignore it every step of the way. And I'll tell you why. Timcast is a middle-of-the-road platform that it would be very attractive to liberals because, they don't like Trump, but, we have honest conversations about it. And sure enough, a large portion, I think the third highest percentage of individuals who watch the show self-identify as traditional liberal. Yeah, they don't want people getting exposed to this. I already have talked about this before, that for some reason, they never write about me. When they do, it's weird, nonsensical hit pieces, despite the fact that we are one of the biggest political shows in the world, that in the charts, Timcast IRL, I think is number 11 in the live entertainment category. That's right. Above us in the charts, I think this is U.S. It might be globally. No, I think it's U.S. In the U.S. charts, no, it might be globally. I don't know. All I know is that when you look at the top of the charts for entertainment, we are like number 11, almost the top 10. I could have it inverted. And then in super chats, we're like 16. You'd think being the biggest live, sit down, in-person show talking about politics and culture, somebody would have something to say about us, but they ignore us. So I knew this was happening. So you know what we want to do here? We got number 2 in the charts. And I said, we're going to force them, the industry, the establishment, to recognize they are done. They are losing. Now, hold on. It's not about me. I got to be honest. I like writing songs, so I'm going to publish them. I've been writing music my whole life. You don't have to like it. Not everybody does. That's the way music works. Maybe it's not even that good. I don't know. I like it, so I'm going to make it. Sometimes I cook food, too. I don't think I'm a master chef, but I enjoy it, right? So I'm going to keep doing it, and I'll share it with my friends. And with your help, we hit number 2. What I am sick and tired of my whole life is you come up and you say, hey, man, I've worked really hard. I wrote this song. And what do they say to you? We don't care. Yet you ain't in the club. It's a big club and you ain't in it. And that goes from culture to politics. How many people are celebrities because someone just told them they could be? How many people got put into positions of power where they try to be gatekeepers because someone told them they could be? That's journalism to the T. How do people get jobs in news media? Their parents pay their bills. They get connected. They get internships. This has been a big scandal in New York media. You can't live in the city and be an intern at a media outlet unless someone's paying your bills. So what do you get? Out of touch, woke liberals who write all the news. Well, you know what? Sooner or later, something funny is going to happen. When we keep charting, and we will, and you keep saying it's not happening, plugging your ears, and eventually one of the songs we put out is going to get massive play. And there's going to be a bunch of people saying like, man, I love that song. How come nobody's writing about it? How come there's no, what is this? You can't ignore it forever. You are losing the culture war. CNN, they're now saying is going right wing. Politico, they're saying is now going right wing. Don't know, don't care. Y'all are nuts. All I know is that we're taking over and you're losing. And these quotes we got back from our communications people, they give me joy. Oh, your tears. I love it. Does your distaste for me preclude you from doing your job? This is where I am so excited to expose the machine. You see, right now, Wikipedia, here's what y'all can do next. I don't know how to do it, but I would love to see a discography section for 2 songs that I released, Will of the People, no charting. It's too bad. Only Ever Wanted. Oh, on several charts. Digital sales, alternative rock and alternative. 16, 21, and 24 on those 3 charts. Actually, Will of the People now charted at 17, so you can put that one in there. How about that? In sales. They don't want to write about it because then they have to admit that we are here and we're good. Here's what I think. If they thought what we were doing was bad, they would write it's bad. And they do. Media Matters, for instance, will try and smear us and write nonsense. Well, why won't they write about when we have prominent people on the show and we have interesting conversations? Because they know that people will agree with a middle-of-the-road conversation, and it may de-radicalize them, and they don't want that. Here's what I think. I think the reason they're refusing to write about Only Ever Wanted is because they can't critique it. If they come out and say the song is bad, regular people will hear it and say, I don't know, it's actually kind of good. Or, not my cup of tea, but it's not bad. 70-some thousand thumbs up, 1.7 million hits on YouTube, number 2 in digital sales, overwhelming positive comments. And because of this, I'm now going to be heading out to a major rock festival, and I get connected with a bunch of big industry guys because the release of this song, guess what? Got the attention of some industry people who now really want to work with us. Big industry, big record labels. Oh no. This is the reality. It's working. Here's what I want to stress though. To the people who come to me and say, oh, you just want to be a rock star. It's like, dude, I've been writing music since I was 7. Okay. I've released music. This is about winning a culture war, and it's about me doing what I can. If I was, a pro sports player, then I'd do that. We skate. I skateboard. I rollerblade. We're going to get scooters and bikes, and I'm going to produce content around that because that's what I know and that's what I can do. But it's also why I am adamant right now. I don't know how we do it, man. Tom MacDonald needs to hit number 1. He has to hit number 1 because they need to be forced every week with a new song, be it me, Tom, or anybody else. We're going to sign people. It's not just me making songs under Timcast Records. We're going to be signing tons of other musicians. And we are going to push and make sure we keep hitting those charts and we invade those cultural spaces. And then they'll be forced to listen. I'm waiting for the day when these industry websites, these magazines, they say, hey, this song's number 2. Shouldn't we write about it? And the person goes, I hate that guy. And the editor goes, yeah, I don't care if you hate him or not. It's number 2, dude. Let's get Tom MacDonald to the top. In the link in the description below, click it. Some of you don't have iTunes. Maybe you can buy it on Amazon Music. I'll put both links. If you don't have iTunes, buy it on Amazon. I'm going to tell you the full numbers. We hit number 2 with 12,500 sales. And part of me is kind of sad. Not everybody's going to buy it. That's fine. 69 cents. But I thought to myself, is that it? We here stand at the precipice of great culture revolution. The left is trying to implement. They want movies to be woke. They want gender ideology for your kids. They're selling these books they're putting in front of your kids. We need cultural victories. If we truly believed in this, if we really wanted to do something, this is what I'm saying. Doesn't have to be me. You don't got to buy my song. Because that's not what's important. What's important is, if you come to me and you ask me, what can I do? There's a lot you can do. You can speak up. You can stand up for what you believe in. Not everybody can spend the $1 on the song. Totally get that. There's one thing you can do. If you're scared to speak up, if you are unable to, you can take $1 right now. You can click the link and buy Tom MacDonald's Riot on Amazon. If 50,000 people, I think 50,000 people bought it, I think he'd be number 1 on the Hot 100, or maybe not. Maybe you need like 200,000. But that's the crazy thing. I'm like, dude is legitimately so good at what he does. Let me read this for you, because many of you have already seen this story from March. There's a press release that Tom put out. He says, if a tree falls in the woods, does anybody hear it? If an independent artist sells the most albums in a week, does anybody report on it? Apparently not. Tom MacDonald has actually sold, not streamed or TikTok, the most units during the reporting week of March 4th to 11th for his new collaborative album, The Brave, with Adam Calhoun. Listen to it. They moved 48,000 physical copies in 3 days, which Tom and his partner and video director Nova Rockefeller personally sent out, complete with UPC codes. Digitally, it reached number 1 on iTunes overall top album charts. It shot to number 1 on the store's all-genre sales, leapfrogging Disney and Lin-Manuel Miranda Juggernaut and Kanto soundtrack. Moreover, The Brave held the number 1 spot on the overall top albums charts and hip-hop charts, posting up 6.2 million streams. It has bested the numbers of new projects from the late King Von and DaBaby and Youngboy Never Broke Again. Why isn't Tom getting a response to rectify this? It trended at number 5 on YouTube trending. Yo, they don't want us, outsiders, anti-establishment people, using their own rules. They just don't want us in there. Let me tell you what this is. Let me tell you, Timcast IRL, with 40 plus thousand live viewers almost every single night. That's about where we average. Why aren't we ever trending? We get 500,000 hits in a day on our show. How come we're never trending? How come when you click live shows, Timcast IRL, it's not there? Because they hate us, they don't like our politics, and they want to use their control over culture to stop people from getting access to real information or critical thought. Okay. I want to see the facade ripped apart. I want to see the foundation crumble. They will not be able to ignore this. They don't like Tom's politics. They don't like that he's not going to bend the knee to these institutions and work the way they want him to work. So they're going to stop him from hitting the charts where he should have been. So I look at this music, some of my favorite bands, and I was shocked to see, like, they release these big songs that get millions of hits, no charting. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. A lot of these musicians put on music, and then over 10 years, they end up racking up all these hits and sales. Then they'll be like, it's platinum. Yeah, but it was never the 100th best song, most listened to song in that week period. So when Tom MacDonald gets 5 million hits in a week, he should be up there on the charts. I was surprised to find out that he's only had a few. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Dude's got like 30 million hits. Isn't 30 million like gold? No, I think 75 million is gold. But plus sales, he should be getting these accolades. This was what really got me, because when we released a song and we saw that people were we knew it was coming. A lot of people were like, look at what happened with Tom MacDonald. And I'm like, okay, bro, it's not about me. I'll find someone else to be the tip of the spear, to be the mantle. You don't got to like the music I put out. I think Tom's music is just, I mean, this is his thing. It's some of the, like, dude, the lyrics, so good. Dude is a lyrical master. I'm a big fan. He should be number one. You know what? I think his music's good enough. I think it should get more attention. I think the message in it is extremely important. He hits all of the marks perfectly on what he's producing. They keep him down. So here's what kind of bums me out. Millions of people watch the content I produce. Millions. And millions of people want to know what they can do. And I'm like, give Tom $1. You don't got to give it to me. I'll say it a million times. We're going to put out another song in a few weeks. I hope y'all buy it when we do. But it's not about me. Give Tom the money to make more. Give Tom the number one position. Let him be the tip of the spear to go out to the media and talk about why the establishment is crooked and corrupt. We're experiencing it. They refused to write about a song that hit number 2 because Pete Parada's doctor didn't want him getting the vaccine. That's right. They're a cult. And we got to break the veil. We got to shatter that facade and take over. And we're gonna. When we sell these songs, you know what? I'll tell you this. We made enough off the first release. We got enough industry support. We now have direct connections and contracts. Amazing stuff. It worked. We succeeded. The left comes out and they lie, cheat, and steal. They say, oh, it's bad. Oh, we hate it. Oh, it's cringe. And I'm like, so weird. So weird that it's 95% thumbs up, over 1 million hits in its first week, and almost in a few days. I think in a few days, actually. And they're like, it's bad. It's bad. Don't listen to it. Don't. Uh-oh. Y'all ain't got it anymore. We're coming for you. You see, you know what I think? I think me and Tom probably have similar politics. Conservatives were never that good at art, to be honest. I mean, some of them were, but the left dominated this stuff. Well, I'm a disaffected liberal. I grew up in the arts. I grew up in skateboarding. I grew up in the cities. And I think these people are a death cult. Sterilizing kids, aborting their kids at 9 months. So you know what? We'll take over from here. Let them falter. Shout out to the Daily Wire crew as well. Please, man, you know, with millions of people who watch this stuff, I'm like, how hard would it be for people to just spend that $1? Make history. Get them up there. And I'll stress, not a sponsorship spot. I don't have any deals with Tom. I've talked to him a couple times. I'm just saying to myself, how do we get independent artists? How do we get counterculture to break the veil? To force them to acknowledge this is good. And I'll tell you what, when they finally do, when this stuff hits the top of the charts, industry executives, I'm telling you this is what's going to happen. They're going to look at the charts and be like, yo, people are buying this Tom MacDonald stuff. That's money. People don't really buy that much music anymore. We sold 12,520. That got us to number 2. People don't buy that much anymore. Used to be hundreds of thousands. Still is for some of the top artists. And this is what the industry chases after, real money. If they start seeing that Tom MacDonald's making money, they're going to say, we got to do more of this. Screw that weird woke stuff. That doesn't make money. What makes money is this middle of the road kind of anti-establishment counterculture stuff. Force them to shift. Pick up dude's song. I hope to see it, man. I hope that next Tuesday when the numbers come out, we see Tom MacDonald Hot 100 number 1 because 100,000 people bought his song. Here's hoping, man. Shout out to Tom, dude. Again, seriously, big fan. I want to see people who actually challenge the system, real punk rock attitudes, pushing back on the cult, shattering the facade. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see y'all then.